Hello, I'm going to show you some functions of the Meter Eater robot. I'll wake up the screen and switch on the robot.
Hello, welcome to your Meter Reader.
The robot will tell me what to do.
Plug the spoon on.
So I'll plug the spoon on.
Fix it to place.
Now it's moving to the position it knows for my mouth. If I can continue, but if I want to change that position, I can click adjust by hand and then just move it to the position where my mouth is and click save. Then it's asking about checking the plate. Also, I need to put the plate in. There's a peg that fits in there. Press to detect the plate. And it's detected that it's a large plate that's fitted, which is correct. Okay, so now if there was food in the plate, I'd be ready to eat. 3 controls here. This button on the end enables me to switch between fork mode and scoop mode. This button here enables me to turn the plate. You can see it alternates direction, so I can line up food that's in the plate, and then press this button to scoop, and also to pause if I want to. Okay. You can adjust how long it pauses at your mouth. And again, how long it pauses when it goes back to rest. So if it takes time for you to chew and swallow your food, you can adjust that. When you scoop into the plate, if you've got sort of too much food on the spoon, you can push this button here and it moves back a bit before lifting up, which will scoop less food. If I push this button here, it will wipe the spoon, which drips off the bottom of the spoon, for instance. If you come to your mouth. Let's say I've scooped something I don't want to eat. When it gets to my mouth, I can ask it to empty the spoon. Incidentally, the plate turned round to where the spoon came from, so it empties it back to where it came from. So the Meter Eater remembers where it scooped from. Instead of a spoon, I could fit a fork or a spork, which I can use for scooping, but I could also select fork mode and fork the food instead. So here I can bring this fork backwards and forwards, turn the plate to line up the food before stabbing it. If I don't want the food on the fork, I can empty it. If you push and hold this button here, it goes into a plate scrape mode, which means that the spoon goes into the plate as the plate turns, so that will be scraping up the last bits of food left from your meal. It then moves back out of the way, the plate turns around a bit, and it scoops up that last bit of food. All these functions can be operated using external switches, which are plugged in at the back. Those external switches can even be operated to go into the menus to change some settings. Here you can see there's the menu button, where you've got various choices. There is also help at any point, so you just push the question mark and it gives you help. It jumps to the part of the menu, and you can go to the top and then jump to places within it. The first setting is to program the mouth position, which you've seen. The second button is to check the plate to see what plate you fitted. If you hold that button, you can just go and select which plate is fitted. The most recent selection is shown. Okay. Go back to the settings. We can change how long the spoon pauses before each scoop, how long it stays at the edge of the plate, and how long it stays at the mouth. So, for instance, if I push this button here, I can set a different number of seconds that it waits at my mouth, up to 99 seconds. Okay, you can see time at mouth, 3 seconds. In the scoop settings, we can choose between 1, 2 and 3 switch mode and to whether to allow the fork stab. We can also enable a snack mode. If we go into more scoop settings, this is where we can change some automatic cycles. So you saw earlier how I pushed a switch to wipe the spoon. If I enable that as an automatic option, every cycle will wipe the spoon. When the soup bowl is fitted, it enables this function anyway. Similarly, you can make it so that every cycle it automatically empties the spoon. And there's also a function here called plate jiggle. When this is enabled, the plate moves a bit when the spoon's at the front. I'll show you, which can help with sticky food for scooping. The Neater robot remembers which part of the plate has been scooped. So normally when you press scoop, it starts off near the edge of the plate, scooping. And then next time we scoop that part of the plate, it scoops from the middle of the plate. By using 2 spoon cycles, that means that not too much food gets scooped up. In the more scoop settings menu, you can set it so that automatically, every other time it goes to the edge of the plate, scoops less food by moving back from the edge. Let me show you that. So now, when I scoop into the plate, it will first of all move away a little bit before we're lifting up. Secondly, it still scoops near the edge, but goes straight up. Thirdly, it scoops from the middle of the plate to the edge, but moves away a little bit from the edge before lifting up. And fourthly, it scoops from the middle to the edge and lifts up near the edge. So this way, less food gets picked up each time. And the Neater Eater remembers which parts of the plate it has scooped in which manner. I'm now going to go back into the more scoop settings menu. I'm going to switch off that scoop less food and switch on an always scoop from the centre mode. This we don't recommend because you can perhaps scoop too much food. And it warns you here. I'm going to confirm this. Now, wherever I am on the plate, it will always scoop from the centre to the edge of the plate. Remember, if there is too much food on the spoon, you can always push this button to move away a bit before lifting up. You can wipe the bottom of the spoon, and the plate had moved to where the spoon took the food from, to wipe the drips off there. And also, when it comes to your mouth, if there's too much food on the spoon, you can always press empty the spoon. Again, it moves back to where it scooped the food from and empties the spoon. Also in the settings menu we have plate turn settings, whereby we can, for instance, turn the plate automatically a little bit each cycle of the spoon. There's an angle which is set at 15 degrees, so you can change that angle. So now after it scoops into the plate, after it scoops the food, the plate is automatically turning round a bit to the next food. Also in plate turn settings, you can have it view the food before you scoop. In this mode, for somebody who's very short and can't see the food here, they can see the food at the back of the plate. So they can line up the food at the back of the plate, and when they click scoop, it will go and scoop the food there. So it's going around half a turn, and then it scoops the food that you could see before at the back of the plate before coming up to your mouth. Other options in the settings menu include being able to adjust the spoon angle when the spoon goes into your mouth, change the display sound settings, and also to be able to change users. So I can program different settings for up to 5 different users. If I select a new user, it'll ask me to put a name. First of all, it asks me if I've read the instructions, and then it asks me to put a name for that person in. Okay, and then I can change the settings for that user, and I can select previous users at any time and copy between users. In advanced settings, you have to enter a code to enter advanced settings. There's various things that can be adjusted. For information on these, have a look at the help menu.